welcome to another episode of the WDN Chatline Podcast. This is your host CB, and I'm here with one of my teammates, WD. WD, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, man. Let's get this thing rolling.
Okay, and tonight, Who Dat Nation, we will continue our top 25 countdown. This segment, we will be doing picks 10 through 6. So we are in the top 10 range now. So it's time to really get excited and see, who we selected. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. At number 10 comes in Will Lutz. This 2019 season, if you guys do not know, this guy was an important part to our success. I know our offense was good, our defense was good, but Will Lutz, these 3-pointers and stuff like that, that is an important part to the game. And if you think about it, if we go back to week 1, that just set it off right there. This would have been another season of us getting off to a slow start in the dome, but he kicked us. He kicked a 56, 57-yarder, to win that game. This guy was a very important piece to our success.
Yeah, Will Lutz, man. We've been looking for a kicker for so long, man. I can't even think about the past few names from Kai Forbev and so many other guys, but we finally got Will Lutz back in 2016, and man, he has exceeded our expectations. If
you think about it, guys, back in 2016 or right before 2016, we was going through multiple kickers. We had a kicking problem. Our whole special teams, was garbage at that. We didn't have no kick returner, punt returner, and we definitely didn't have no kicker at the time. Will Lutz coming in, man, this guy has been tremendous, but 2019, this guy has definitely been excellent.
Yeah, he was definitely excellent. And the fact that we had Breeze go out and we had Teddy B, if you remember, there was a lot of times we couldn't even finish drives, and Lutz was right there to seal the deal. The Cowboys game is one example, and the Jaguars game is one example.
His field goal percentage, he was 32 for 36, 88.9%. 32 field goals made, that ranked third among the kickers. With kicks 50 yards or better, he was 3 for 5. So that's a pretty good percentage. 50 plus yards. 40 or better, 13 for 15. When you get into 40 yards, really 40 yards and greater, that's a tough kick to make. And CBS Sports ranked Lutz 5th among kickers heading into the 2020 season. And he was also a 2019 Pro Bowler. So Will Lutz, shout out to you for making the top 10.
You can't forget, but the Panthers game, he also had a game-winning kick right there too.
Right. Okay, so shout out to Will Lutz for coming in our top 10. Number 9 comes in Mr. Swiss Army Knife, Taysom Hill. This guy has done so much for the team in 2019. Whether it's throwing the ball, whether it's running the ball, whether it's being an effective guy on special teams, this guy basically can do it all. And that's why it's going to be hard in the future to, just have this guy playing at one position, because he is Swiss Army knife, and he does it good at, wherever they ask him to do, he excels at. He even played receiver. He even caught one TD. He caught multiple TD passes this year at a receiver. So this guy is basically doing it all, and he had a hell of a 2019 season.
What can Taysom Hill not do? I feel like he can play defense, and he'll probably look good as a DB. The guy loves football. You can see how he's smiling after trucking somebody. He make tackles on special team. Of course, we have the discussion of if he can be a true quarterback or not. I think he can be. I think he can make certain throws. If you give him a chance, I feel like he could definitely be a quarterback.
As far as the numbers wise, he played all around, so you really can't point out his stats because it's really not going to show real heavy at one spot because he was moving all around. But PFF, they understood that and they graded him 84.1. So shout out to Taysom, and shout out to him receiving his new 2-year deal worth $21 million. When you come in, you do what the coaches want you to do. And basically when they brought him off the Green Bay's practice squad, Taysom was just trying to do whatever he could to help the team. And look what it's done down for him. He is a top 10 player on our team for the 2019 season. Basically just coming in doing what the coach wants you to do. So Taysom Hill, I'm glad we signed you up. We got you a few more years, and I'm looking forward to you, continuing just swishing these defenses up. And I do want to say, the Minnesota Viking game, if Taysom Hill wasn't a factor at all, we probably would have got blown out by multiple scores.
If they kept Taysom in, we probably win that game. The man was about to win the game for us.
So for the ones that watched that playoff game, that definitely showed how important of a player Taysom Hill is to the team. So we looking forward to even greater things in 2020. But shout out to Taysom Hill for making our top 10. Okay, at number 8 comes in Alvin Kamara. This guy, what can you say about him? This guy can bounce off the tackles. He's an in-between the tackle runner. I know some say this guy is different. Darren Sproles was a scat back. That's, a true definition of a scat back. But Alvin Kamara, this guy can run through the tackles. He can truck you. It's going to be tough to bring him down. So if you can do that, running through the tackles, he can also play in the slant. He can catch screen balls. He can move around the offense. This guy is a very important piece to our team. Before he went down with the injury that he told us about recently.
So elusive, balanced. Man, Kamara is just amazing. It's very amazing watching him. I enjoy making highlights of Kamara. That Seattle game, he took over. He was just wrecking the defense apart. He had Clowney. He was dragging Clowney on the ground. I think he had 2 touchdowns that game.
He started receiving some criticism towards really after that Seattle game. I'm not sure exactly when this knee started bothering him, whenever he tore it, but we know that wasn't the real AK. And he finally told us, I'm just glad he wasn't making, he didn't make it an excuse. When they asked him, he didn't make no excuse to why, but he finally told us, after it was long gone. And I truly believe it. Because we know as soon as he was taking hits, he would drop to the ground. And we know that's not the AK that we know. He wasn't even trying to fight for, more yards. So we knew something was wrong, but we finally knew it. But he wanted to, go out there and help his team. But regardless of all of that, the guy still averaged 4 yards a carry. He had 797 rushing yards, 5 TDs. Yeah, it took him a while. He went on a streak where he didn't have a rushing touchdown. He had 533 receiving yards and 1 receiving touchdown.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right.
Like the fact that he got hurt, he still had 1,200 all-purpose yards.
Definitely would have had him higher. If this would have been a healthy AK, he would have been a few spots higher, on the list. To come in at a top 10, where over half of the season you playing with a torn knee, that's great. So shout out to Alvin Kamara. Number 7 comes in Marshon Lattimore. It's been some years and years and years since we've had a lockdown corner. With the addition of Marshon Lattimore, we finally got a guy that we can trust, to play man on opposing team's top receiver. He have had trouble, staying consistent. Even he admitted that, in training camp, he just said he got to stay more consistent. But he definitely had more good than, bad games. One game that stands out to me off bat is the Tampa Bay game where he held Mike Evans to, 1 catch, no catches. It was either a catch or no catch. I think he had 1 catch at the end of the game for 19 yards. But for him to check these key receivers, especially in our division, one thing that he does do that other cornerbacks doesn't do like that is he going up against real legit receivers. Our division alone, he had to face Julio twice. He had to face Mike Evans twice. Carolina, not so much, but just our schedule the past few years, he's been going up against gritty receivers, but he's been holding it down, and he was a 2019 Pro Bowl player. So shout out to him.
Well, you can argue that Marshon Lattimore is the best man-to-man corner back in the NFL. You can definitely argue that. Look at the receivers he's going up against. Now, yes, we know, like you were saying, CB, he can be inconsistent, but he shows up, for the most part, he shows up against a big-time receiver. Right. The guy is a baller. I love that hit he put on Julio. I want to see more of that.
Yes, sir. And just to give you a few numbers, PFF gave Sean a grade of a 68.1. I kind of disagree with that. But he played in 14 games. He had one pick. Picks have dropped by the year, but he's been controlling, these number one receivers. So I'll take that. If he's not getting picks like that, but he's, keeping their number one receivers in check, I will take that. I really ain't tripping on the picks. He had 14 pass breakups, and that was tied for 10th in the league. So he was number 10 in the league for pass breakups. So that's in good company.
It doesn't get talked about enough, but he is one of the best tackling cornerbacks you can see.
He had 57 tackles. He's a real physical given his size, man, he's real physical. And he had to go up against these big, gritty receivers. He just stayed in that mode 24/7, man. He a top 5 in my eyes, top 5 corner. If he can stay in that mode, day in and out. But once again, shout out to Marshon. We expecting big things from you this year, big dog. Okay, and at number 6 comes in Mr. Tayron Armstead. Just to start it off, man, the only thing that's holding this guy back from being the unanimously best left tackle in the game is his ability to, be out on the field. His injuries. That's the only thing that's holding Tayron back from being unanimously the best left tackle in the game. This guy, he gave up 0 sacks this year. He played in 15 games, but it was 2 to 3 games where he was playing with a torn pec or tricep. I forgot. But even at that, he didn't give up 1 sack, guys. 1 sack he didn't give up. On Drew's blind side, that's a great thing. Excellent run blocker. He is ranked 5th best offensive tackle heading into the 2020 season by PFF. So that's definitely hella respect. Guys around the league see it. And like I said, the only thing that's holding him back, from being the best left tackle in the game is his ability to stay healthy.
Man, you ever watch a run play and you just see how DBs, linebacker DBs, they be so afraid to go after the running backs with Tayron. He just be ready to hit anybody that comes near his way. Love it.
And then you guys see him like he fast. He a 4.7 guy. I mean, that's as an offensive lineman, that's fast. So he's able, especially like on them poor plays, them screen games. As you can see, he can get to the second level with no problem. Second and even the third level with no problem.
Top 5 tackle, CB?
Yes. Left or right, he's a top 5 tackle in this game. No question. So, Mr. Tayron, give us a healthy season this year, and you'll be arguably the best tackle in this game. So shout out to you. Okay, Who Dat Nation, that will wrap up our segment on picks 10 through 6. Make sure you guys stay tuned for picks 5 through 1. I hope you guys enjoyed our picks. And once again, be like to subscribe and follow all of our pages. And once again, congratulations to everyone that made this list. We're expecting great things from y'all in the 2020 season. This your boy CB, and we are out. Who Dat?
For life.